So speaking of disastrous botches and Cody Rhodes, I don't know. Cody Rhodes reveals the disastrous meeting between Tony Khan and Matt Cardona, transitioning into AEW news and wacky AEW stuff. Cody Rhodes reveals the disastrous meeting between Tony Khan and Matt Cardona. I'm going to click on this article here and we are going to read it together. Cultaholics, shout them out. So back in 2020, Matt Cardona, and he famously said, we covered it on the show here, Matt Cardona famously said, like, I had 2 matches and 4 t-shirts or something. He's like, I don't know what Tony Khan's doing over there, but you know, so that's hilarious. But Cardona never ended up signing with AEW, but a recent appearance on Major Wrestling Figure podcast, Cody Rhodes said that he was looking to help bring Cardona on board. And due to the pandemic, the scenario saw Cardona and Khan hold their talks at an after party, something which Rhodes regretted. So Cody Rhodes says we should have flown Matt Cardona in, or we should have done it at an office somewhere. The setting was not great. Cardona said that he thought the meeting would be private, but there were prying eyes everywhere because they're at a party. Right? So here's the quote. It's so great that you got those because it was so insanely awkward for such a period of time. Because I noticed, when Matt gets nervous, the shoulders tense up, his face gets a little more red than it already is. You can feel his energy getting nervous. So I noticed he was a little nervous about this meeting, which, whatever, I'm not judging that by any means, but he hasn't told me anything that he's going to say. Of course, I trust my best friend is going to be just fine with this, and I don't have to do anything besides the introduction. This is how the conversation opened up, and if I could have taken a friggin' back bump on the cement, I would have taken a back bump. It was so shocking. Tony starts talking, and before long, Matt goes, well, let me stop you right there. Now, this is in front of people. So he's already got a bullish fortune favors the bold approach to this, Cody explained. And so Matt Cardona goes, let me stop you right there, Tony Khan. I want you to know that I don't want to be here to be Cody's friend. I want you to know that I wouldn't be caught dead wearing a Nightmare Family jacket. This is happening in real time to me, and this guy that I suggested comes in as my friend. So Cody Rhodes and Tony Khan could only respond, oh, okay. And the rest of the talk was described to be insanely awkward and not productive. So Tony Khan's like, yeah, this is great. Come meet me at a party, haha. And then what happens? You know what I mean? He it's just a conversation between these guys. And, because it's in front of all these people, and Cody pitches to them, hey, yeah, he's going to come in and be my mystery friend. And then Cardona's like, I'm not going to be Cody's friend if I come in. I'm being Matt Cardona. So it just went downhill from there. And again, why the f would you invite Matt Cardona? Maybe that's some of Cody's bad, but why would you invite him to talk business at a party like that unless you had some like back room or you had some other way of negotiating? I don't know. That seems really weird. And it just highlights the lack of leadership and the awkwardness from Tony Khan. And while on that topic, Undertaker questions Tony Khan, and he says he doesn't know if Tony Khan is the guy to run a wrestling company and hopes that one day AEW gets their crap together. And I really do too, man. And Undertaker says, hopefully one day. I mean, a lot of people don't think the way that I do, but one day AEW gets their crap together and genuinely creates some competition. That's probably not a popular take from most of the insiders, but the way I look at it, I mean, competition's only gonna make you better. I don't think there's a real true leader in the locker room, and I'm not sure. I have nothing against the man. I don't know that Tony Khan is the guy to run the company. His heart is in a good place and he wants to do something, but I just don't know if he has the ability to make good judgments and swift decision making to run a wrestling company against the juggernaut that is the WWE. But hey, I could be wrong. I hope they get it together. It's better for the wrestlers, the fans. It's better for everything. And hopefully they don't. Rest in peace. Yeah, dude. So yeah, dude. I mean, then we have people quoting and going, who likes the Undertaker? Undertaker's overrated. Like, I'm sure if we look under here, there's people like, yeah, he is right. A lot of people are saying he's right. Is he wrong? Undertaker just wants to see WWE struggle the same way WCW made WWF struggle. Exactly. But people are like, a lot of people are just like, oh, he's an old podcaster. People still like The Undertaker. It's just these goobers, man. It's just these absolute dummies in the IWC. But we're still talking about Tony Khan here as we move along. So, and we're talking about AEW wrestlers as well. Okay. For instance, we have Rocky Romero, who took on Shota Umino at the Rampage tapings, and he got injured, some sort of injury. I'm not sure if he's their U.S. champ currently, but shout out Shota Umino. He's a tremendous worker. He's sort of like new Tanahashi, you know? Umino walked to the back under his own power after, but was said to be in a considerable amount of pain. Shout out AEW Neckbeard says, color me shocked. So he got hurt. And then another Japanese talent who's competing in the New Japan G1, shout him out, but like, okay. Konosuke Takeshita tells Inside the Ropes he calls AEW the most mentally exhausting period of his whole wrestling career. The guy's like, how old is Konosuke Takeshita's age, dude? I'm going to Google it live on the show. He's 29 years old. It's the most mentally taxing period of my... I stopped having fun. Dude. He said he stopped having fun, man.
You what?
Tony.
Dummy, yeah.
You know, and this isn't it's an angle because Callis doesn't like, he's always hated. What are they going to say? What are you guys going to say about this? You have nothing to say about this, man. Just awful, dude. And it's just the lack of leadership. Undertaker called it out. He gets called trash for it. He gets called names for it, even though he's one of the goats. Like, there wouldn't even be an industry if it wasn't for guys like Undertaker sacrificing his literal hips, literally sacrificing his body, you know. And there's just no quality control. There's no creative control or like quality creative control from Tony Khan. He's letting everyone do what they want. And for instance, the Wolf of Wall Street shirt that was made by MJF, who we're going to talk about in a little bit here, just in a moment, right? They have the shirt that's like jacked in black or whatever, you know, like the Will Hobbs shirt. They did the Britt Baker black eye shirt. They did the God, they do so many just ridiculous t-shirts. But then here's the newest one, Nick Wayne's mom. And I quote tweeted this and I said, this is made by middle schoolers for middle schoolers. Like, look at this. This looks like an AI generated t-shirt. I mean, yeah, Nick Wayne's mom is a baddie and she's thick, but like they AI paint her booty, make her look like she's got a BLL. There's like a BBL, a BLL. What is that? Bacon, lettuce, and lentils. I don't know. A BBL, pardon me. And then like, you know, she's got a car behind her. I mean, cool. I get it. And she's a baddie, but like, who's gonna wear that? That's like, someone tweeted too, who's gonna wear this in public? And someone responded, they're like, Nick Wayne. But either way, this is just an awful shirt. And then, to make it worse, we may have covered this on the show, but Tony Khan, they make this, dude, AEW for the...
You what?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, they're so sick. Let's all be sick together. This is great. Oh my God. For the sickos. Like, he went ahead and made this, and I quote tweeted this, and I was like, please tell me this isn't real. Like, this is a troll, right? Embarrassing, man. I don't know. And that's not even like fly, like for the sickos. Imagine walking around with that on your shirt. Now, a lot of people are like, aren't sickos like usually? I don't know. Just imagine walking with that and around with that, and people are like, what is that? For the sickos. Like, I don't know. Look up the definition of sicko. Let's do it here live on the show, folks. Except for it's pre-recorded, so it's like Time Cop, and I'm a sicko. I'm gonna puke. Let's do it. You guys remember on the 10 minutes of Tony Khan video? Tony Khan, I'm gonna puke. Yeah, I didn't eat. Let's puke. Let's do it. What was I looking up here? Definition of sicko. So sicko definition. I think we covered this on the show, but I'm just going to read it again. A mentally ill or perverted person, especially one who is sadistic. Like, Tony. Jesus.
Conan.
My word, man. You need some help, dude. You got to call for some help, bro. And then Neckbeard's an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. Neckbeard is undefeated on the internet, dude. a really good guy too, like behind the scenes, honestly. Just I know he's a troll. He's just trolling. He's just having a blast. And Tony's the shirts, the bad reffing, which we're gonna talk about in a bit. Um, all of this stuff, man, it just translates so poorly, and they wonder why the attendances are down. They wonder why it's become a joke. A lot of people are like, will come under my, not a lot actually, very few, because man, I get more people because of my live show, PWT live show every Wednesday. I get more people who are in my chat like, okay, I'm gonna try and watch Dynamite with you. I'm so stoked. And I have people who try, man. I get more people watching Dynamite and AEW than like would otherwise. Do you know what I mean? Like none of these people are saying, no, watch it with me and laugh at this with me or enjoy it. Dude, the last episode of Dynamite, I put it over for the first hour. I was like, they're booking this good. They at least have Swerve. Like, yes, the Bucks are ratings killers, but they at least have Swerve in the right position. And so it's like, I gotta clown this. Someone's got to wake up. You know, if everybody says it, and Kevin Kelly's gonna say it later, and we're gonna play some clips from him and Eric Bischoff's interview there on 83 Weeks, because he exposed a lot and nobody's talking about it. Of course, go figure. That's why you listen to this show. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you guys follow this show. Like, I'm the only one who puts this together like this and brings it to you like this. So you don't want to miss anything I'm doing, because everything I do is like, it's one step forward in the story that's being told, this overarching documentation we're doing here, the fun we're having together, right? But I get more people watching this and watching Dynamite than would, otherwise. A lot of these shows watch it and they just give basic, oh, this is awesome, but like no new people are going to tune in because of it. How are new people going to tune in? Well, you got to get cynics like myself and others who in my chat and who listen to PWT, the PWT universe. If I'm telling you guys, no, let's watch Dynamite together and come do it on Wednesday and let's share our ideas and figure out what's good and what works and what isn't. I'm encouraging people to watch. A lot of people aren't doing that. They're just hating to hate, or they don't really watch the shows, but then they have comments on everything Tony Khan's doing and saying there's a lot of people who are like that too. Like they're not even really keeping up every week, but they got all the comments in the world. Or it's people who just are given the same mundane, bland, generic, but it ultimately boils down to Tony Khan and the leadership. And look at this building. This building's trash, lackluster crowd for Collision. And we have a couple different videos, and I'm not clowning like, oh, an empty building, but it's like, at what point do we like make the show look cool and put it in a smaller building and light the whole crowd up and make it look like a fun time, like a party? Like, what's going on here, man? So we got a couple clips from a couple different AEW shows. Here's just a crowd shot. And WrestleTix, shout out WrestleTix. I actually reached out to them, whoever runs the account, to come on the podcast because I want to talk to them. I'm very curious, just not to be like, an AEW sucks, right? I just want to talk to them, right? Because it's an interesting account, and that account is important for the IWC and the history books of pro wrestling. Like, period, man. It's very important. And so Wrestling Ticks, though, they turned off their comments, and you have to DM them the pictures now of the attendances. And a lot of people are saying, yo, they are being paid by Tony now. Because WrestleTix went through a phase where they blocked like quote unquote AEW hater accounts, and then they unblocked a bunch of them. And you're seeing a lot of people do it. You're seeing a lot of people do it because they're waking up, dude, and they're smelling the coffee beans. But either way, here's the house, right? So the crowds and the attendance are a reflection of that, And not only that, read this tweet. Lackluster crowd for Collision tonight, was supposed to get underway at 7, but still waiting at 7:30. So they didn't even get the show starting on time for a Collision taping. Like, what's Tony? Oh yeah, I'm late. I have to get a soda water. I'm running behind. It's great. Man, just no good. You know what I mean? No good, dude. So here's another video from I think this was from Dynamite, right? And this is another fan video here. And these fans are heckling. And I told you guys in Canada, look, the women talent were getting harassed. Dudes were hitting the ring. Last week on Dynamite, we saw guys in the front row laughing at Perry and making fun of him, going, "You got choked out." And the dude's like bigger than Jack Perry. And he's like, "You got choked out." And Perry just walked away, wanted none of that smoke. And then we're seeing like this, man, like the fans are there. This was, I believe, oh, no, I don't want to talk. I read somewhere someone was like, yeah, they sold tickets like $5 to get in the show last minute or something. That could be a complete and utter fabrication. So I'm not going to go with that whatsoever. But just look, man, they're paying tickets to come here and just make fun of this now. Like,
you pleaded, you begged us to make you care.
Blood talking to.
Who's blood talking to?
Exactly what you asked for. We're over here. Says the time.
They're yelling at, do you remember when they yelled at Jay White the other week? What, who wrote this? This guy's these people are yelling out now, dude, we're over here. Side's empty, bro. And because he's got to talk to that hard cam like a goof, and it just makes these wrestlers look like goofs, man. Imagine going to a job every day and your boss is just making you feel like that's where money doesn't matter. If I'm AEW, bro, I go there 1 to 3 years. I go there 2 with an option. And I just take that dough. You know what I mean? And then I get the out of there. I take that life-changing money, then get out of there. You know? But listen to these fans. Like,
You pleaded.
damn, dude. And it's like, why not just go to a smaller building, fill it up on every side, and then it looks awesome and light the crowd up, and then your own fans who paid tickets aren't making fun of your show like live on your show. It's utterly ridiculous. And it's just the wrestlers too, man, like their presence on social media. You know, Dax Harwood got into it with Disco Inferno on some cringe. I've covered Dax enough. People don't have, you know, the reffing's bad. We're getting to that. But you know, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, like even their top guy, this is their top guy. He does the Triple H cosplay thing. You know what I mean? And, you know, it is what it is. Like, I mean, I call it cosplay. It triggered a bunch of people. Okay, it's paying homage, but at what point is it? I've gone over it ad nauseum on this show. At what point is it where they keep doing WWE stuff where it becomes they're just imitating old WWE stuff? Like, at what point can we go, yeah, they're just imitating old WWE? Like, at what point is it fair to just say that's what it is? And so, I don't know, man. When you do it too much, it's too obvious. You know, that's why WWE can get away with little shots every week at AEW, because they're not egregious and they're just little pokes that riles the marks up and keeps them trending and people talking about their MJF's like fully dressing like them. They're doing the spray down in the ring. He parodied the Bret Hart thing. They've done the Eddie Kingston Claudio cosplayed the All Japan thing. They had Jericho and Guevara cosplay HBK and Jericho. I've talked about it ad nauseum, but MJF out of nowhere, dude, I get it. Like, oh, she's a big influencer and you're talking about it on your podcast and you're a dumb mark and I'm owning people. Like, I get it. The eyes are on you, but this just like, okay, he was gone from ever. I covered this on the show too. He was gone forever from AEW. And then his only Twitter interactions in forever was to respond to The Rock when his ex-girlfriend made a painting about The Rock. Meanwhile, he's dating Alicia Tout, and I think he's going to get married to her. And Alicia Tout just got a job at AEW, and she interviewed him when he pulled up for like a Dynamite exclusive or whatever at the start of Dynamite. Alicia Tout interviewed MJF, like he walks up and is a dick to her. And his response after like a long hiatus on Twitter was to respond and go, "Oh, Rock, you want my sloppy," like simping for his ex, just trying to feed off The Rock. So then it's like he's going at this random like e-girl, and it's like, what's going on here? Like, where's the PR people being like, can you guys be professional on Twitter? You know what I mean? Like, could we get some semblance of like, stop being cringe everywhere? Because I just cringed when I read, and I love MJF. I love him, but I just cringed. I'm like, what is going on? So basically, Maxwell Jacob Friedman on Father's Day, he says, "Happy going out to get a pack of cigarettes day to all the dadless poors." Now, that's pretty funny. You know, he's just roasting. He's just cooking, doing a little joke. Now, at Christina Colombiana, now she's like a Twitch streamer or something, an e-girl, I want to say. And she goes, "You used to have better material than this, my boy. My goodness, what has happened?" Now, maybe she grew up without a dad. you know? So, but that's what MJF's aiming to do. And he got a big name, like a person with a blue check. And obviously you can buy a blue check, but let's check here. I'll check her followers for you guys. She's got 22.7K followers, you know, like it's a good enough. But to him, it's just some random streamer, you know? And it's like, okay, like I guess go at her. And so he quote tweets it and goes, I'll go cry into my millions of dollars while you have to wear wife beaters you bought off Temu with your fake tits hanging out on cam and lie to yourself that the reason all 20 of your adoring fans are watching your videos is for your great personality. Damn, MJF, my God. Did you have to do her so dirty? But like, I don't know why he went off so hard on her. Like, she only's got 22K followers. Yes, he's right about these gamer girls. Like, of course, you know, like that's like a lot of them do that. Now, I'm not judging this girl. I've never watched her content, but wouldn't shock me. But this is the man of the people. He's our scumbag. We are sickos. Oh, I do it for the sickos. And he's just like, oh, go cry into my millions of dollars. It's like you couldn't be any more like unrelatable. And are you a heel? Oh, we're gonna cheer this heel. Like MJF should know better than Max. You're never gonna get over, and the company's just gonna die because you can't get over without faces and heels. And if there's one glaring difference between AEW and WWE besides the wrestling, it's that AEW doesn't give a fuck about heels and baby faces, and WWE does tremendously. Other than the exception of Punk and Drew, for instance, but they're both so over that they could be either. And look at the difference in the business. So it's just, that's just like the basis, the foundation. Like Tony Khan's trying to put windows up and roofs up and hang shingles. They don't even have a foundation built yet in AEW. And that is, okay, who's the distinctive heels and faces, you know, which is what the foundation of every wrestling program or feud or any match is based off of. And then you go from there, right? They're trying to like build the roof before the basement's built, you know, it's stupid. Anyways, but yeah, he says this, and then Christina quote tweets and owns MJF a little bit. She's like, at the MJF felt so hurt that I said he used to have so much better material, that he actually responded to me and with more straight up goof troop material. Like, what the happened to this dude? And I got some money too, Lil Willie. Something your money can't fix, by the way. Oh, then she tagged her OF Booty Lovers World. So yeah, this girl's, you know, popping that thing on the net for whatever, you know. What does Alfred Konowa say? Get it how you got it, or, you know, get it how you live it, or live it how you got, whatever his saying is. Get it how you gotta, you know. That's what she's doing. That's totally cool. I think she kind of owned him there, and round of applause for standing up and then using it to plug her. And also, I clown on the MJF because he always makes fat and dick jokes, and it's like, this is so like elementary level, you know. And she hit him with a Little Willie, something your money can't fix. Damn, that's tough. Now, it's low-hanging fruit because it's so easy for women to be like, oh, he's got a small dick, I bet. But it's also easy for men to go, oh, you just pull your titties out, I bet, you know, like, oh, whore. So, yeah, she kind of went right back and he had no response for that. So, I don't know. But also, you could look at it if we're getting very psychoanalytical and he did kind of just get her a lot of attention she may have not otherwise got. And that is his way of like, I'm not going to compare MJF to Jesus, but it's like, hey, that's his burden to carry. He just got her over a bit. Like, I just plugged her on my show. You know what I mean? This is going to be in a clip in front of thousands of people who otherwise wouldn't know who she was. And it's because of MJF. So that's like him dissing her. He just gave her a little, here you go. You know what I mean? And it helped her out. A win-win, glass half full type of thing. And yeah, I mean, that's by all accounts, MJF's a really good guy, like in real life, right? Like anybody that I know who has met him too has told me like he's really nice, not to kill the gimmick, but he's really not a prick. I've only just been told that people who've met him like very briefly, but he's just, you see it online and you hear the stories, right? It comes out, everybody says it. They don't want to pull the curtain back, but he's like a really good guy, you know? So shout him out. And I like this little interaction, but she really got him there. But it is unlikable. Like and that's what he's going for, but just it doesn't work right now when, like, if he had like a white meat baby face who could respond to his and stand up for this girl too, who was just like, yo, MJF, you would be, tripping over, like, look, MJF, your last couple big tweets, you're tripping over women. Like, you okay? Like, you, like, whatever, someone who can just pipe back and come up with something clever that could get some maybe heat on another wrestler in the company other than some random e-girl. That would be awesome. But I mean, what are you going to do, right? So moving along, though, and speaking of AEW talent and possibilities for AEW, Max Caster says that he wants to see Kanye West. He urges Tony Khan to book the Acclaimed and Kanye West versus the Elite. Now, this would be ridiculous, first and foremost. But the reason Max Caster is calling for this is because Kanye West randomly showed up to a wrestling event in Japan, and this is lit as shout out Kanye. We're gonna play this right here. I don't want to get pulled for music, so we're gonna like turn it way down. Here we go. Yeah, I'm gonna try and talk over it. Yeah, music. Here, we'll play it without the music just to be safe. But here's Kanye. We'll watch that again. So, in my opinion, Kanye's either shooting a music video or he just saw a crowd and was like, yeah, I'm gonna take this over, But either way, Max Caster's like, let's get him in AEW. I would not put it past Tony Khan. Oh yeah, this is great. Let's get Kanye West in AEW. This would be phenomenal. He'll have this will be an awesome match. You know what I mean? I could totally see that happening. It wouldn't save, he would get tons of ratings, but you'd have to pay Kanye a lot, and they would also get tons of hate for that. So I just don't see Tony Khan doing that. But at the same token, who knows, man? Who knows? Anything can happen in the wild world of wrestling. But I don't know, like, what does Max Caster think AEW, or like what he would do? Like, just like what, like they just train Kanye quick. Hopefully he can. I just don't see Kanye doing that. I see him maybe going in like their corner or something. But then they're doing like all that such. Is he down with that? I don't know. Kanye's a weird guy. Like, he was on InfoWars with Alex Jones talking, and so who knows, right? But it wouldn't like shock me if we did see Kanye. And would that be a game changer? No. But would that pop a rating? Yeah, that would pop a huge goddamn rating. I'm certain of it. If they were able to say Kanye West is going to be on AEW tonight with a live microphone, and they had like Hollywood Reporter and all Hollywood Deadline and all these, if all of those outlets were talking about it, mainstream, yeah, that would help them a lot. But then Tony Khan would he never misses an opportunity to miss an opportunity, is what the great Paul Nolan would say. Shout him out. And yeah, he would fumble it somehow.